you are just amazing. You are one person who has been relentless in just saying, Precious, let's do this, Precious, let's do this. And the other time, I was surprised when you came all the way to Alan Gray, and I didn't know that you were coming from Pretoria, Hammanskraal for that matter. I'm forever grateful. I'm really, really humbled that you continuously take time to notice the work that we are doing, and also to understand that we are doing this together. We can be able to accomplish so much. We can be able to do so much. It's not a one-man band. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you. And so without wasting so much time, I would want you to take us through today's session. Share as much as you can from your well of wisdom. And our focus for today is becoming financially healthy as an entrepreneur. I'd ask you to zero in on dirt, but feel free. You have your 25 minutes, then we take the Q&A from there. I'm gonna try and share the YouTube link as well. But otherwise, welcome, Bui, Sarah, please take us through. We look forward to having you today. And to every guest, thank you. Thank you for making time to make this a masterclass today. We appreciate you always. Thank you. Over to you, Bui.
Okay, evening, everyone. As Precious has said now, my name is Buile Saramashiane. I am a financial coach based in Hammanskraal, South Africa. That's the north of Pretoria. Precious, thank you so much for this opportunity. I love touching people's lives on financial matters, as I want to see a transformation because our continent particularly is behind on financial education. We keep on making financial mistakes because we didn't get financial education at elementary level. So talking on today's title, let's just talk about financial health as an entrepreneur. I think it is important for you as an entrepreneur to acknowledge that you are a natural person. You are a person before you are an entrepreneur. You are a person before you are a leader. Therefore, it is important for you to focus on making financial matters that will help you progress. Because I've realized that most of the people wait for the unknown. You know, they wait for that time when they will be millionaires so that they can be financially healthy. They wait for the time where they will be billionaires so that they can be financially healthy, not realizing that what you are making now on monthly basis is a point of departure for your financial health. Oopsie, I have a visitor here. I'm living in with a toddler. Okay. A point of departure is the fact that you need to get a monthly salary as an entrepreneur. You need to work hard to make your business give you a salary. As you make salaries for your employees, so are you. Ne? So you have to have a salary as well, if I were to put it. By having a salary, it simply means that you will be liable for the financial products that will help you progress. By financial products, I'm talking about your basic funeral plan basics, the funeral plan, your educational plan, your funeral plans, your educational plans, your investment plans, your retirement annuity. You got to have a retirement annuity because one day we are all going to retire. And the primary goal has to be that we retire comfortably as entrepreneurs. You cannot keep on telling yourself year in, year out that you will be having a better contract. So a better contract that will help you retire comfortably. So you have to have those the financial products that will help you have a comfortable life, and you have to once again focus on having a salary. Because a mistake that most of the entrepreneurs do, mainly because we are startups, if I were to put it, the mistake that we do is that we eat from hand to mouth, and that is killing our business financials. That is killing our personal financials as well. And by not building your credit profile as an entrepreneur, this will limit you from having a credit to buy a house, a credit to buy a car, a credit to buy furniture on debt, credit to help you make to help you capitalize on good debt. And once again, it is very important, or should I say, it's very imperative for you as an entrepreneur to focus on building two streams. By two streams, I'm talking about your business financials, and I'm talking about your personal financials as well. Personal financials, you have to ensure that your credit profile is on par, and your credit profile, by your credit profile being on par, I mean that you have to be a credit worthy. So if you are not credit worthy, work on your personal financial management. If you are heavily indebted, work on leveling that debt on your name, work on that judgment. If you are under debt review, work on that review so that you can be credit worthy. So one thing that I want to stress about being credit worthy as an entrepreneur or as a leader, but in this case, let's just talk about entrepreneurship. If if you were to get into a partnership with someone, or maybe a potential business partner, one of the things that they focus on, they check your credit profile. They check it, the behavior of your money expenditure through a credit profile. So if you don't build a credit profile, you might forfeit on a good business bid, on good business deals, and this will limit your growth as well. And if you are in corporate, it limits you as well. If you are under debt review, if you do have a judgment, it will limit you. You wouldn't be liable to be a director of a company due to your financial status. So as an entrepreneur, as a leader, you have a responsibility to focus on your personal financial management. And talking about your business financial management, it is also imperative for you as an entrepreneur to ensure that your business financials, your cash flow is taken care of. You record money coming in, you record and money going out, because the cash flow is the heartbeat of your business. If we don't understand these basics, I promise you we are going nowhere as entrepreneurs. So we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to build our personal finances. We have a responsibility to build our business financials as well. And on business financials, may I ask you to capitalize on debt, because if you have a debt or under your business account and you pay it well, it gives you an opportunity to have more debt. This is where you will be focusing on buying your furniture, machinery to extend your business, and so that you can be able to move forward. And one thing that will help you once again, is having a vision board. If you have a vision board as an entrepreneur, as a leader, you will be able to focus on your short-term goals, your medium-term goals, and your long-term goals. By your short-term goals, I'm talking about your goals that you intend to attain this year, and you should have goals that you'd be wanting to attain after 4 to 5 years. And you have to write your 10-year plan, a 15-year plan, to show that you are not doing this because you are unemployed now. You are doing this because you love entrepreneurship and want to understand entrepreneurship as well. And one thing that will help you again is developing yourself through the seminars, through the short courses offered online. You have to take advantage of that, because we were all not born entrepreneurs. So one thing I'd like to talk again, to talk about again on personal finances, we have to focus on building a emergency fund. Every business needs to have an emergency fund, and you need to have your emergency funds as a person once again, mainly because the COVID has shown us that we cannot be living from hand to mouth. Our businesses were running smooth and we were having everything under control, and boom, the COVID came. What happened to most businesses? Most entrepreneurs went typing their CVs again, and they went on the job market. And still, some of them are not employed as well. And one thing I'd like to talk about after this emergency funds, I would like us to focus on the pressure, on the societal pressure that we tend to succumb to. We tend to succumb to the societal pressure to say that we are expected to drive flashy cars. We are expected to be staying in suburbs. We are expected to be, having black cards and all of those all of those nonsense. But I'm not saying it's nonsense. It's nonsensical, but I'm just saying that there is an expectation by the society that entrepreneurs need to be progressive. But let me talk to you about the mindset of an entrepreneur, especially when you are in entrepreneurship for the first 5 years. It is hard. It is very, very difficult. So you need to set your mind and set your mind that you will be going with the basic, having flashy cars and because most of the entrepreneurs don't last long in this entrepreneurial journey because they want to move from number 1 to number 150. It doesn't happen like that. Everything goes step by step. It goes by you focusing on opening the business, being the first one in the business, and being the last. Doing each and everything by yourself before you can hire. You are a security guard, you are a cleaner, you are an admin officer, you do your financials, you are a driver of your company. This is the reality of small businesses. So don't find yourself wanting to belong to a certain group of people when you are only starting out. I hope that point is delivered well. And I was just talking about emergency funds. Emergency funds needs to be built on your salary, on every month's salary. And emergency funds need to be your expenditure, your monthly expenditure. That is like from 3 to 8 months. Every amount you spend, if maybe let's say for argument's sake, you spend 5,000 rands on monthly basis. This means that your emergency funds cannot be 15,000 and less. If you spend 8,000, it's going to be 816.24. It cannot be less than 24 rands, your emergency funds. And your emergency funds, I'm talking about those funds that will be able to assist you when you have tires, medical, I'm talking about medical needs. Sometimes you just wake up and you're not feeling okay and you don't feel like going to the public hospital, then you can always dig in your savings account for that. So I'm talking about money that will help you out, even if the business is not working well, or maybe not be able to pay you a salary, you will be able to go to your emergency funds. And let me encourage you as an entrepreneur to live within your means. Live within your means and focus on the basics. If you have to go back home, go back home. If you have to move from the bigger house to a smaller one, you are only starting out. Just put it up here to say, you know what, I'm only starting out and I am willing to be patient with myself. So these are the things that I'd like to talk about today. And one more thing, Precious asked me to talk about to zero on debt, to talk about debt a little bit. I love debt, but it has to be a good debt, because debt is one is a way of helping us progress. If you are interested with a 15,000 debt or 20,000 debt, then it simply means if you pay it well, you will be able to be trusted to with 100,000 loan. And take out a loan whenever you need to go to school. That's a good debt. Take out the loan whenever you need to build new offices. Take out a loan, whatever loan that you take from the financial institutions. Just focus on making a good debt. A good debt. I know Hore, we are all we all know the difference between a good debt and a bad debt. A good debt is a debt that you take and it will help you move forward. A bad debt is a debt that you take and its assets would depreciate. A good debt, I'm talking about how a mortgage, a debt, a loan for school fees, your tertiary school fees, and should I say a study loan. A good debt, I'm talking about a debt that will help you extend your offices. Maybe if you bought a land and your business is growing, you can take chances and take that debt. Just don't take that and go blow it away, or don't take that and want to buy a flashy car. You would be doing a very wrong thing. And what we do again is we take out loans to ensure that our employees are paid. So whenever, I won't talk much on debt, but whenever you think debt, just think good debt. And one thing I like about good debt is it helps you progress forward. If you pay your debt in the right way, you pay your monthly premiums on the date you agreed, you don't skip your monthly premiums, I promise you, you're going to get a bigger debt. And also, there is a notion, or should I say a saying, that entrepreneurs who stay in their mortgage bonds are bound to fail. Let me tell you, it's all a fear that is instilled in us. People will be talking and they want to make us short-sighted. Believe in yourself. Believe in your dream. Believe in your business. Believe in your hustle. and I promise you good things will be coming to you. Invest in property, and don't just make the property invest in your only property. Invest in property and rent it out. You know what I like about what is it that I like about property? I like the fact that if you take out a loan, a mortgage bond now, and you get someone to help you pay the bond, after 20 years, the same property could be used to help you maintain a better lifestyle at retirement stage. So you could be buying a few properties just to you could be buying a few properties and leverage it as a money that you will be using when you go on pension. You can't just depend on your retirement annuities and the savings that you have, but depend on property as well, just to ensure that whenever you go on pension, you would be having money. I thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Bowie. Thank you so much, Bowie. I think this was quite insightful, quite relevant, because I think the challenge that I have realized for us entrepreneurs is often that balance of making sure that we have sustained savings set aside, because most of the time we've been living from hand to mouth, trying to make things happen. And when do we prioritize ourselves? When do we even make sure that we have the right system, the right support, the right procedures in place to grow ourselves? In as much as we are growing everyone around us, we also need to grow everything that we do. I think it makes sense because after a certain period of time, you begin to feel, my conclusion is you begin to feel burnt out if you are not careful. You begin to feel tired of the work that you're doing. So it's important that we also invest in ourselves. I think it's highly, highly, highly important. So we has also shared with me her profile. I'm just going to summarize it for the sake of future collaborations with other people that also would want to engage her on further work projects. So here it says that Buile Sarah Mashiane is a self-driven entrepreneur and a financial coach. She's a director of a financial education company, Mina Nemali Projects, and consulting, and oversees all services rendered in the company. She carries out her passion through workshops, speaker services, financial article writing, and radio interviews, just to get this content to the masses. She exercises this independently as she's not affiliated with any financial institution. She encourages entrepreneurs to work on their personal finances, and she educates them to master both their small business cash flow and personal finances. Her content of financial education is derived from the experience she attained during her financial advisory period and from the financial CPD program she attends continuously for development. Her desire is to touch as many lives as possible to ensure people make informed financial decisions, that they live within their means, they understand the culture of savings and investing, encourage people to track their spending, encourage entrepreneurs to have a relationship with their money. Well done, well done, well done. She has a background of credentials to support all the work that she's doing. I really think that you're an amazing, amazing, amazing leader. And I guess for us now, even as we are about to celebrate the South African Youth Day, we are advocating more for even the Pan-Africanism, because there is also opportunities beyond the borders, And so we believe that the content that you are carrying should also be heard out there by masses and masses of people. So I'm going to open it up to the floor to people to ask questions, if there's any. Otherwise, I can begin my questions. Please just raise your hand if you have any questions for Bui. My first question would be, you spoke about retiring comfortably. So I would want to understand, is there any package or any ways that you feel that entrepreneurs could begin to work on that? I know we have hosted Alan Gray before, and they kind of like offered a way where entrepreneurs can begin to save. And I think their packages, they start as low as 500 per month. What would you recommend that people can retire comfortably?
I would recommend basically the retirement annuity because as we had a masterclass with I can't remember is it Tinashe?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
Tinashe.
he checked everything. Let me explain the model of the retirement annuity briefly. A retirement annuity pays out when you are between 55 and 65 years of age, and it pays out in three thirds. So the one third of your money, you'll get it cash as a lump sum, and it doesn't exceed half a million. It will be tax free. If the amount that is beyond the half a million, the 500,000 is the only amount that will be taxed, and the two thirds are paid out as a salary on monthly basis. So you cannot just depend on that. I encourage entrepreneurs to invest in property. If you invest in property, and have someone rent out your place. In simple terms, they are helping you to pay the monthly repayments. At 20 years, the property would have been paid up, and you would be able to sell that property or have money from that property. From the property investment fund, you will be able to add it on to the retirement annuity fund, and you will be able to maintain the standard of living of the life you are living now. So property investment is a way to go. And the retirement annuity is the way. We have as more than 5 vehicles where you invest your money just to prepare for a comfortable retirement
Plan.
Precious, are you there?
Yes, I think we had lost you a little bit. Now we can hear you. Would you just want to touch base on the five streams that you could recommend to people? And I know also that into property, around property space, is it manageable for people to invest in property easily? What can be the initial investments that people can have, considering the fact that we are in the COVID era where people are plagued with debt? How realistic is that? And as a financial coach, what would you advise people on? Because the reality of it is people have been going through a lot. There's a lot of mental advocacy going around because people are burdened with debts, people are being retrenched, opportunities are not as readily available to some they leveraged on the pandemic and got opportunities, but on the majority of people are stuck on debt. So how would they navigate themselves out of debt personally and business wise, and being able to invest in property or invest in Alan Gray, for instance? Please advise us as a financial coach.
Okay. Let's start with basics. You got to know where you are with your finances, and taken a step from there. Remember, you and I are in different levels, so I cannot be using your situation to attend to my situation. So I start where I'm at. I encourage people to sell, 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 sell. Selling gives you an extra income in a massive way, and price your products in an attainable way, if I were to say it. Don't don't hope to get a 200% profit out of the people. People will never buy from you. Focus on having a 50% or maybe 100% if your products achieve a profit from the products you're selling. You can sell anything. If you don't have money at all, I've had clients that came to consult, and um I I encourage them to start their sales journey by selling sweets, and they have made it. It's more than 10 clients. Sell sweets, sell things. Just want to bridge the market by selling. I'm not encouraging you to take a 10,000 loan or take whatever amount that you don't have on your pocket, stock and sell. No, you sell what can you check your market as well, and you check the need as well. And selling is easy. You just put things on your profile, on your WhatsApp profile and your Facebook profile, and people, your clients will come from those. You just have to be nice to people. You don't have to overpromise. You don't have to under deliver, and then you'll take your journey from there. After selling sweets, if you have a much bigger profit, go and stock your t-shirts, go and stock whatever, anything that can make a difference to your monthly salary. uh, Use those profits to pay your debts. Start with the smallest debt, pay it off, and the same amount you paying off the smallest debt doesn't belong to you. Focus on the second smallest debt, ace it out. This is quite a long journey, but it's doable. I cannot tell you about anything except for selling. And then if you have to go back to corporate, just do it. It's only temporary. If it will help you to move from being heavily indebted to being credit worthy again, just do it and do your business. Just build your business from the ground up again. You are working. We need to be realistic to ourselves, because if you overburden yourself, you are going to be stressed. And wanting to be an entrepreneur when things are not working out is only, you are only killing yourself. You're only killing your emotions. We have to remember, like I said when I started, that we are individuals, we are humans, we go through things. We There's nothing superstitious about us. So therefore, you have to think for yourself. You have to if you are not well emotionally, your kids can feel it. So don't be in a place where you cannot be. This is my basic advice. And when it comes to investments, take out that 100 rands and put it aside. Uh, and if you get to 10 months and you have 1,000 rands, just capitalize on doing something that will benefit you as well. If you're able to put the 200 rands away, 500 rands away, then and as soon as you have a, a, a sustainable income again, take advantage of investing with the insurance companies. We do have your Sanlams, you do have your All Mutuals, we do have you spoke about one company. What's the name of the company again?
Alan Gray.
Alan Gray. We do have your Alan Grays. And when you start investing again, just make your research as an individual. Make your research and uh, try to see their timelines, their terms and conditions, and invest from there. Don't just hear from one advisor and then go and invest, because there is a variety of investments on the market.
So I'm really happy with the information that you're giving us. I think in a nutshell, you've touched on people working on their gifts. You don't have to wait for one lump sum amount for you to be able to start doing things. They look at yourself, what are you good at doing? Effectively start using those gifts. They can begin to generate money for you if you really look around at the opportunities that are around you. We have the August delight of having one of the leaders who is based in the Caribbean islands. I'll just give you a few minutes to introduce what they are selling. It's an opportunity that I feel people can leverage on. So one of the things that I felt you touched on really heavily was on also just making sure that you build relationships, because you cannot sell to people that you don't intentionally build relationships with. So building relationships is key. And really, even as we grow in our businesses, it's very important for us to have good relationships with people. Our relationships should be so diverse, professional, diverse, but they should add to one thing of building our businesses. We should also make a culture of even paying the debts off, even if it's 100 Rand that you are paying, or even investing that 100 Rand or setting it aside. It's a target that you make. It becomes a culture that you actively do. And once you kind of like do that more often, it becomes your culture. It takes you away from poverty. Though it seems small or the quantities are small, but they begin to add to something that is more meaningful in the long run. So develop that habit, that culture of investing and also paying off debts. I think you spoke on that. So even on when you are doing the investment, one should be clued up to what makes sense to them, what is affordable to them. That's why you cannot just stick to one. You should just do your own research. What companies offering loans, for instance? Do I qualify? What are the terms of repayments? If I want to invest, does it make sense? What is the return on investment? I think that's in a nutshell, that's what you're talking about. I'm just going to ask, because you mentioned of selling, and I know that sometimes people have got these platforms of our WhatsApp statuses, and we use them for other things like settling scores instead of making money from those avenues. Our social media handles, they should be able to be a market for us. And I've seen Miss June Jackson doing that very well. Whenever you go to a Facebook status or story, she's selling something, she's advertising something. Would you just want to speak to the audience here on the group, like for 2 minutes, Mrs. June Jackson, just to highlight the product that you guys are selling so extensively in the Caribbean islands, and it's making millions for a lot of people? Miss June Jackson? Maybe she's unable to unmute herself. Is there anyone else with a question for Bui before we proceed? I see one comment here from Stella. She says, I enjoyed the seminar. I think now I will understand why I lost so many because of lack of funds. Thank you so much for enjoying and attending the session, Stella. Anyone else with a question? Mrs. Jackson, are you able to unmute? She's not able to unmute at the moment. I think she's in the office. I think my second question would be on the, you spoke about debt review, that it's important for people to make sure that they have a good credit score. And this does not only apply to businesses, even in the leadership capacity, that one day when you want to be promoted to these levels, to these capacities, you need to make sure that you are compliant and you don't owe, and people should actively engage on mitigating or managing their debt. Would you just want to maybe touch on a little bit on that, Bui, if that's okay?
Yeah, it is okay with me. Can I get the question again?
On the debt review, how can
Yes.
people manage this effectively? I think in a
Oh,
nutshell,
okay.
yeah.
Um, um, Basically, it's through making a financial assessment. You need to check your credit profile and see if you are under that review. Because what I've experienced with my clients is it's very easy to be under review. You get one call from one person, and they would be telling you something that you don't understand. That they'd ask you if you want that product, and just by saying yes, you are under that review. And being under that review is derailing so many entrepreneurs and so many people, if I were to generalize, is derailing them because it involves long contracts, and just for you to take the flag of your credit profile, that review flag, it will cost you money. And if it doesn't cost you money, you will have to go from pillar to post just to have that flag removed. And okay, fine. Let me talk about that review. If you are under judgment, uh, you need to write to 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 the credit bureau. Maybe experience in South Africa, we have 4 credit bureaus. We do have an experience. We do have um oh, come on now. Okay, fine. I'll remember them as we go. So you need to write them an email to say, I was under default on this account. I've paid it up. Now I would want you to update it on Credit Bureau to say that I'm done with it, and it will take you about 6 to 12 months to get that right. The only way to fix your financials is through going through all this is through going all through all the credit bureau platforms. I'll tell you now about the credit bureaus, but it's important. There are emails provided on their website. Contact them and tell them that I would like to be credit worthy again. So if only if you are done with your debts. And one thing I would like people to know again is if you are here in South Africa and you you are here in South Africa and you've had debt, and the credit provider didn't contact you for 3 years, and you didn't contact them and you didn't make any form of payment, that debt is considered as prescribed. So a credit provider calls you 3 years later after not calling you all this time, and asks you, Precious, to say, do you acknowledge your debt from so and so? If you go yes, you are screwed. You need to pay that debt. But if you respond by saying that debt is prescribed, they don't have power over you. The only thing you need to do is to write to the credit bureau and tell them and ask them to remove it from your profile because it is prescribed. The prescription of debt simply means that the debt is expired. So these are the only things you need to do: judgment, default, debt review, uh, prescribed debt. You need to contact the credit bureau, nothing more.
Can you just repeat those ones again? It's prescribed.
Prescribed,
Mm-hmm.
it's judgment, it's default, and it's debt review again. Although you're
Prescribed,
gonna take that
debt review,
prescribed debt, yeah,
default, and what else?
default.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's prescribed debt, default, judgment, and debt review.
Okay, I think I missed judgment.
And you
Um,
have to start by checking your credit profile. You have to download the Clear Score app or
mm,
make an app and then load your information and see how other creditors view you because they update it on monthly basis. They update your behavior towards your debts on monthly basis. Just check it and check where in a slot where they write if you do have a judgment or do have a default. If you are under debt review, it will show a flag that you are under debt review. And I want to encourage everyone that no matter how bad things might look, you need to remind yourself that, especially with financials, it can all change in a year. If you put much effort into building your financials or turning around your financials, I promise you, things can look up if you put effort.
Oh, thank you so much. I think for me, this conversation is quite important. You know, I think sometimes we are not as honest with ourselves to wanting to live within our means, or if we are at fault to make it right, intentionally trying to make it right. And even this thing of social pressure, that sometimes we find ourselves just going through so much pressure. We want to meet certain standards of certain people. We push ourselves into debt, unnecessary debt. I really I'm grateful that we have had this conversation, and would love to have a follow-up conversation to this effect sometime, because I think it's really paramount, especially on how people can actually save themselves from debt. I knew one company that used to offer such services. They would go and check where you are, your credit worthiness, and then they try and also negotiate terms of payments on your behalf and things like that. And I just thought that that was noble, because there's also some confidentiality with them. You can disclose anything that you want, and then they can help you going forward. Really, thank you so much, Bui. I think you are such a well of wisdom. I'm going to pose a question to the audience again. Is there anyone with a question for Bui before we close today?
And as they are raising hands, Precious, actually, this is what my company does. You can go and check us out on www.bsmfinancialsolutions.co.za. This is what we do. We do help people to be credit worthy again. We help you with the contacts from the four credit bureaus, and if you do have a flag on your credit profile, we help you remove it. If you want to remove, if you are under judgment default, we do help that. Yeah, and I think I will talk mostly about that when we have a follow up.
Masterclass.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Would you want to type in the web address there so that people can just go? Because we also
okay
want
then.
to promote the work that you're doing. I think
Okay
this
then.
is so needed. I would also advise that also on the WhatsApp group that we have, you can also just share
Okay.
a poster if you have, then we can share also on the Facebook group one, so that people can,
Okay
you know,
then.
the reality of debt is people don't want to talk about debt. They don't want to acknowledge or admit that they are in debt. This is really one thing that I've noticed. People don't want to
Exactly.
acknowledge. They don't want to talk about it. They
Mm,
think that
mm,
if you are quiet about it,
exactly.
it's just going to disappear. It remains such an animal that is facing you continuously, and it's a hindrance to progress. When you
Exactly.
owe people,
The
it's
hindrance
so
of progress.
heavy. It's so heavy. Owing people is unhealthy. It leaves you
Mhm.
anxious. It leaves you, you know, you don't have peace. So I would
Mm,
just want us to really work on this session one more time. We'll advise our guests when we can have it again. But let's confront this demon of debt, because it stands in
exactly.
our way, and
Yeah.
it's not health. So thank you so much, Wei, for taking time to be with us today. Would just love to blow up your organization And I know people in their private moments, they'll contact you even if they don't want to say it in public. I know
Exactly.
people will
Yeah.
reach out. And to our guests, thank you so much for making time. Thank you for your support. We are humbled. We are encouraged. We have these conversations for leaders, for entrepreneurs and social entrepreneurs. We believe in growing. We believe in being relevant to one another. We believe in holding each other's hand. Therefore, we offer holistic empowerment solutions to entrepreneurs, to leaders and social entrepreneurs. We also have awards coming up. If you feel like you are doing amazing work in your different spaces, countries, areas of expertise, we have our awards coming up. Please feel free to reach us. Feel free to get in touch. We'll give you the details to do that. Otherwise, have a blessed and glorious weekend. Continue to excel in whatever you do. Continue to be a beacon of light to someone else. We thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Anytime, anytime. And
Yeah,
just before you go, and everyone is still here, my book will be out on financial education. The name of the book is Minanemali, but we'll update you guys whenever it's out.
awesome. Congratulations to you, leader. We can't wait to
Thank
read your
you.
book.
Thank you.
Yeah. Otherwise, guys, enjoy your evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.